Good day, fellow humans. I have been MIA. I think it's probably only been like 2 days. It just feels like forever since I got used to recording all the time now, which is great because I needed an outlet for all the energy I'm not letting off. So we are still in the week of knowledge download, release your bad habits. This is going to be a psychic training video, by the way. Ignore my son in the background. He's just a teenage boy playing games with his friends. And I'm also going to be doing the spiritual protections video today or tomorrow. I had two notes that I had to include in this video. One, there is somebody that needs to know if you keep doing love spells on a unparticipating party or somebody who does not want to be in a relationship with you, it might seem like you get the results you want, but it eventually turns into hate. But it turns into like all the hate because the oversoul knows that it was being bound, and it starts to trickle down to the human. So what was once this person being obsessed and in love with you because they were under the spell becomes a person who is horrible towards you. So for this message, for whoever it hits, if you're still trying to do love spells on someone because the past ones were not working, cut it. You are leading yourself down a horrible path, as love spells are. Anyway, the actual love and the chemistry between two people is the natural spell that happens. Falling in love is the spell. When you are forcing the feeling of falling in love on somebody that is not actually connecting to their heart, it's probably connecting to like their libido or something. It's the libido is contained in the root, a completely different place from the heart. This is down near the perineum. That's also where your anger is at, which is why this energy being forced into that area eventually turns into a form of rage or hatred. There's a thin line between love and hate. So somebody needed that warning, I guess. Just stop doing love spells. Do it the right way. If the person don't want to love you, somebody else will. They come quick. You just have to open your heart. They come slower when you are fixated on one person and locked in. Then you're blocking everybody else out. It is you preventing you from moving to the next level. For whoever this message is for. So the next thing is on the same wavelength. Right now we are dealing with, hold on one second. I need to pull it up in the background. First, let me pick somebody random. Okay, let me show y'all the chart. So when I was MIA, it's because I was working on some heart replenishing stuff. Like I had to sit through a whole bunch of heart Reiki stuff. I had to do some heart meditations. I still have more I have to do because I was noticing the feeling I was having again. Like it's a blessing to realize which chakra is off. But I'm like, holy shit, I did a lot of work on this year. I do understand that when you connect your higher self to your human self, it's like you are moving as one, all your fields together. And I was going to have to take some of the L's from the heartbreak from my soul. So for the last 2 years, I've been working through that because there was a whole situation. But it came back like boop, boop. So guys, Mars, and I guess I'll use mine, whatever, I don't care. Mars is right now in the sign of Leo. Leo rules the heart, right? So in your chart, anywhere where you have Leo energy or anything connected to your fifth house is connected to your heart. With the current Mars, the way that power is being pushed out into the world through those frequencies I was talking about in the last video I did, right now those are being built into like sort of a repression, right? Sort of building like when you shake up a soda and the pressure builds up behind it. That's what Mars is doing right now, I guess, in order to give a big poof when it comes out of retrograde. And when does it come out of retrograde? We got to know these things, right? Yeah. Let's do this. It's like I get enough messages on my own that it's going down. I don't need to see it play by play every day. Hallelujah. So when does Mars leave retrograde? What? February? No, that's the right one. So it started December 6th and it started moving backwards through Leo. It'll end up in Cancer and then it'll flip back forward. That's a long time to be in retrograde. I am not overjoyed about that. his reaction time was perfect. So during that time, everything will be pent up, like action will be pent up. It's similar to Mercury retrograde, except for this is like physical stuff, your creativity. It's really like the world is forcing everything to come to a head. So in regards to it having to do with your hearts, because when it's in Cancer, you'll be dealing with your pent up emotions, and it's going to be at the final degree. So it's going to be like the final countdown for how you handle your emotions, right? But the heart thing, it's like pushing up anything that needs to heal in the heart that is still an issue. I have had so many thoughts that I did not want to have over the last couple of days, but I do know just because I have to tell y'all stuff all the time, I'm really good at helping other people, but do I listen to myself all the time? Not necessarily. But in this case, I had to because the feeling was so like unbearable and like all the stuff that was coming up. I'm like, all right, you got to sit through this. You got to pick through each thing that's coming up that's still bothering you, because clearly there were a lot of things you tucked away in your heart that are coming back up for you to solve them while this pressure is behind it, so that when you go forward, you can transmute it or use that new energy for something else. That's the whole sort of purpose behind this. So if you're feeling any heaviness or depression or anything that is like, what the hell, I was just fine, it's because your heart is being purged. That's the best way I can say it. The purge of the heart is going on right now. And it is at the 5th degree. The 5th degree is a Leo degree too. So it's like extra inner child healing coming up. So another thing I wanted to show y'all in regards to this. Asteroid 3052 is called Herzen. Herzen is the frequency of your heartbeat. Like if there's a zodiac wheel, right? And every channel leads to a different part of you. This is the hotline for your heart. Guys, I gotta confess. So it was last week, I think. No, the first time I did this guy's video, I noticed I felt like super calm. Like if I wake up and my anxiety's acting up, because it used to be really bad. I'm still learning how to manage my cortisol. Like I just got vitamins for it. But like when you're dealing with complex, it's shaky. It's like a car has started in my body, but it's just my anxiety and my overproduction of my stress hormone, right? So I've created a morning routine that sort of knocks that down, including the little cortisol pills. But in between that, and it's so bad. Where is he at? I bet you he's gonna be on my front screen. Just because y'all need it friendly, right? I think it's healing and beyond. And you see I have the heart chakra one right there too. So this dude, the first time he came across my screen, I was like, why are y'all sending me fake Jesus? I don't need this. But I sat through one of the videos and I was like, oh my God, why is this man's energy cracked? And so I ended up sitting through it, and he introduced himself and he's like, my name is Michael. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, that's a Michael avatar, right? But when this hard stuff started popping off, I was like, hold on. No, video, don't start. I don't need you. Stop it. Okay, there we go. So my contract in this life, like I work for Michael, like I am bound to Archangel Michael, that is my guardian. But my heartbeat is at the same frequency as Michael too. So when this guy comes on, I have never met a person in person whose energy like calms me down. I'm usually like the right fairy, but I guess for all the energy that I give out, because that's typically what the heart energy is for. I go around and I just share unconditional love and healing, because see, my Reiki is at the same degree. Keep in mind, anything at the same degree is all funneling into the same thing. I heal other people by sharing my heart energy. And it turns out you can get depleted. I didn't know that if it wasn't being reciprocated, which, like I said, I didn't consider that, especially with this job, because I do like use my Reiki a lot. Like even when we're doing sessions, like if you have something that's a bit above and beyond, I have no problem like lighting a candle for you or doing some like little writing things. If it's within my power, I can do it. And it turns out my power slaps way harder when I'm helping other people than when I try to help myself. So I was sitting through his frequency and I'm like, oh my gosh, my chest feels so much better. God, please send me somebody with like Michael energy in my real life so my chest can stop feeling like this all the time. So now I've had to start my days a little bit later, taking more time to refill before I start, because I don't want to burn myself out, or especially my heart energy. You can't see it on here because I don't have the asteroid in here, but my unconditional love is at the 21st degree also. So I'm just going around like pew, 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 sharing love everywhere, not realizing there is a tank that has to be refilled. So I want to put y'all onto the plug with your Herzen, right? Since I was blessed enough to find mine and find somebody online to supplement it, you can come under here, and this is astro.com, right? There is the thing called your persona chart. Your persona charts are the storylines for each and every part of your chart. So every planet in your natal chart has its own storyline that you can look into. So, like for instance, I was like, oh, I want to understand how to work better with my branding. Like, what is my Venus? How do I work my magnet, right? This whole time I'm thinking it's going to be something like, hey, you got to do A, B, C, and D. I came here to my Venus chart. It's at the 13th degree of Leo. That's self. So the whole time I'm thinking it was something else I had to be doing for my brand or my business or to pull stuff towards me. And it's just me being me and sharing my mind and all the things I think nobody wants to hear, because it turns out there are people that want to hear it. I just have to open myself up enough to magnetize them in, right? Your Herzen. Did it pop up on here? Hold on. Sometimes you got to make sure you have your asteroids all with like commas. Herzen 3052. Ah, see, one got a period. When you do that, it cuts off your ability to pull the rest of them up in your persona chart. Make sure they all have the commas, guys. So my Herzen chart, right? And this is me looking at this like, who, how the fuck do I fix this? Where's my heartbeat at? So I haven't sat down with this. This is my first time looking at this. But you read this, and I'm sorry, I'm drinking on camera, y'all. You read this the same way that you read your natal chart. Just think about it for that specific thing. So this is the frequency of my heart. It's at a Gemini degree in the sign of Aquarius. So share with other people. Boom. Right? We check for anything else that's at the third degree, turning point, and a fated event. But it's in the sign of a Virgo that this is all funneling into. So there is a time where it will be healed or activated. It's just a matter of when. And unfortunately for me, the bulk, my candle popped. So it's related to my Saturn, right? But then the rest of the planets are all in Sagittarius. Another thing that lets me know that this is like a Sag issue or something that has to do with me stepping outside of my box or learning something new or even possibly living somewhere completely different. Jupiter is in the first house. That's ruled by Sag, right? The Venus, not value, where the actual heartbeat is in the house ruled by Sagittarius. And then we got two houses where there's a stellium, which is 3 planets or more, in the sign of Sagittarius. So this is something that is going to be learned through experience, how to navigate what I give out and balancing it. And that's backed up by my Mars, my drive being in balance in regards to my heart. And the healing energy at the same degree. See, these degrees really help you out when you connect them. So I have to learn the difference between sharing my power with others and then like working on healing myself in between time in connection to the contract that I have in my career for the people that I am assisting. But there is supposed to be a change that occurs when I look. So the 16th degree is locked into Uranus. Uranus is the radical change in your chart. It is also a Cancer degree. So that's something to do with my home, my court, right? But look who's right next to that. Michael. So when I find my Miguel. So look, this is the Michael chart. And this will help you too if you have a strong Michael signature or any of the other deities, right? I have a home contract. Like this person is supposed to be in my house. Look right over here in my marriage house. And this is 7th degree, which is a Libra degree rising. That's a partnership degree. And he's in my marriage house. So whoever I'm supposed to be with is supposed to be the patch, which is sort of unfair because I'm not going to lie. I was looking forward to coming in here and be like, I can do it all on my own. I'm a survivor. And that's not how we are set up here. There comes a point in our healing where we realize we can't do this alone. And that is the point of humanity. Or we would have just stayed up there as a piece of source and stayed as one thing. We come down here so that we can experience having connection with others. Oh my goodness, I'm pushed too much in the background. Now my screen is black and ruining my life. There we go. So this was a psychic training video, but that other stuff was supposed to be helpful. I am going where I am led. I am in the middle of a recording marathon though, guys. Like I'm going to be recording nonstop, me and the bull, for the next few days because I leave Monday to go to Maryland, spend some time with my family, and I'll be back by the end of the week. So I will not. I told myself I was gonna actually focus. I was gonna refill, rest, so I can come back. Like I'll be back Friday, I think. So okay, I have 3 different decks here that I want to use for a little psychic training thing. And we're just gonna do the card thing as we usually do, but let's start small. I'm gonna start with the physical features one. This is your first time here. You always begin. Every time I teach, I feel like I need to have a British accent. Uh, it's just real proper like. Take a deep breath in. You can usually pull in for 3 seconds and then do it 3 to 5. Take a deep breath in. Hold it when you can't take in anymore. And then release. That clears out all the thoughts you already have so that you can be prepared to accept some stuff in through your psychic centers. So these are different traits, attributes that a person can have. Don't focus on the details because you don't know these cards. You don't know what's on the other side of here. What you're doing is allowing. You are going to, and this is for every single deck that we're doing today. This is starting off the simple one because you're focusing on one trait or just allowing what comes through from that trait. It can be a smell, a sound, a song. You can see a picture. You can see a color. There are no wrong answers. You are trying to learn how your gifts come through based upon what you read off of things, what you pick up. So for instance, if it's a picture of a tree and a bird and a cat, right? And you see the color green, you're like, oh, I zoomed in on the tree. Got it. That's the thing you need to take note of. Or if you heard a song like I'm like a bird in your head, you're like, I think there's a bird in it. That's the connection you're supposed to be making. Yourself is always trying to give you the answers. You just need to lock into the way that yourself most frequently sends the answers. And then you'll be able to use these skills everywhere. You can practice on your own even. So let's get started. All right. Card number 1. And you usually only want to give yourself like 20 seconds because then anything after that is guessing and it's going to make you start doubting your intuition and your faith. The first 10 to 15 seconds when everything's streaming in, that is the most accurate thing. So, and it's so funny. It's green eyes, by the way. When I pulled this, I just was getting envy. Next card. What card do we need next? You could have pulled lashes. Like you could have been like, I see a lash. So next. And I swear these are not all eye cards, but maybe there's somebody watching this, a lurker. Because this is Hazel Eyes. What's next? All things are connected, so I'm always reading for other stuff. Like, hey, who the fuck watching? Probably that person doing them love spells. Next. Ready? High cheekbones. And it's so funny that I had to say that about the love spell thing, right? Like, this is not the channel for that. If you came here for psychic information on anything that violates somebody else's free will, you will never find that here because I am also along with Mound to Michael. Anything that you have at the 18th or the 6th degree or Virgo means you're of service to this energy, right? Logos is the word of God. That's the way that God is translated to us. Mine's is at the 18th degree. I work for source. As soon as I even try to do anything out of pocket, I just get smited down, and it's completely different getting smited down by God versus even a demon attack. Like, you don't even want that smoke. Nobody wants the wrath of God. So I have to tell y'all this story in the middle of this. I was really like, I had to do some errands this week, but I was still in my energy, just like floating through. And I got in the car with this guy, and the first thing that triggered me was he said my name 3 times. He said it 3 different ways, and I was like, right? But he was like, with that kind of name, you can say it any way you want. He was like, you can be anybody you want because we're all God anyway, and God is schizophrenic. So I already knew that, like, oh shit. He was like, we come to Earth for fun, right? Like, this is supposed to be the great part. Like, you do stuff everywhere, but this is the exciting part. And I was like, I always tell people the Earth is an excursion. He's like, it is. We go through all that crying and screaming, then we get to the end just to want to come back and do it again. And he gave me this whole light speech, and then by the end, got out of the car, and I was feeling much better. And I was like, Morgan Freeman, because my mind, like with the cards, I've learned how my gifts work. I can't tell exactly who somebody is, like with my memory being attached, just by looking at them like, hey, that's that bitch from 1856. Like, I can't do that, right? But in my mind, a person that is a reference to their movie character or other places I've seen them in the universe will pop up whenever I get to interact with God in any way. I know he's tired of me because I'd be like, Morgan Freeman, because that's exactly what his energy feels like. It was very parental, and like he was trying to help me like get out of my mind space. So I do appreciate that the energy of God can flow through and pop in healthily, and not only for whipping ass. But I need to tell y'all guys that no, God moves through. He moves through people who have the open heart and who have the logo signature close to them. So when I was down bad and needed some encouragement, a Lyft driver rolled up like, hey, baby, this is a game. Remember, keep it together. So let's do one more of these, guys. When it's the devil, I was like, Jigsaw. Whenever Saturn pops up, that's the one that pops in my head. I'm like, nah, that's Jigsaw. Bro, chill. Like, come on. All right. You could have got the jacket. You could have got anything. This seems like a description, right? Somebody with hazel green eyes, high cheekbones, and long hair. Now I gotta see, what is this about? Because a couple of these days I couldn't pull nothing. Because man, with the heart is taking up my feet again. I'm like, I can't believe this shit. So why did these specific traits pop up? What's T? And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me? See, I didn't even read the cards per se, but I let the feelings stream through me. And that was my soul's reaction to this. Somebody's having a really bad time in their life. They're feeling really vulnerable. Everything is just like not going how they want it to, and they can't do anything about it. They probably feeling that Leo retrograde energy. I hope you ain't just come here to find out about love spells and stuff, and you use some of this stuff for healing. But for some reason, I am picking up on their energy so much so that it decided to come through in the psychic reading pick a card. When a heavy amount of energy is being pushed towards you, this can be people gossiping about you, this can be people excited about you, but when a whole bunch of energy is pushed towards you, it will clog your channels. It will be what's coming through. It'll be like bump to the top of the queue for what you need to know the most right now. I have seen 211 like 5 times a day. There was one point I went to pick my phone up and it was upside down. It was 11:02, but my phone was faced sideways so that I noticed that it was 211. I'm like, what's going on around these parts? But no, somebody just hates their life right now. And this green eye had nothing to do with their physical characteristic. It was that envy that I picked up on. This person more than likely has hazel or brown eyes. Brown eyes that shine when the light hits them. High cheekbones and long hair. This wasn't even what this reading was about, but I hope it helps somebody else out there that is learning how to read cards to realize stuff. So no, somebody's sending a lot of energy, a lot of not so happy energy because they're not happy my way. So much so that I couldn't even just pull some physical characteristic cards and get them without a intention. Like, no, there's so many different descriptions in here. Look, like there's dimples, there's dark skin. Great deck, by the way. Religious. There's obese. That's such a rude word, right? Like, damn, I can't just be like big, like obese. Like that's crazy. High heels was in here. But y'all, didn't I tell y'all I saw 211 like a million times today? This is why it's important to notice the details in every card. What's that? I ain't finna play with it. I love this all so much. Like it's very hard to get anything past me. It's just I be in denial. Like, no, 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 not me. No way. There couldn't possibly be a situation dealing with me. I'm just at home reading cards all day. So let's go to the next deck. I'm not even gonna give that person any energy. And I tell you all the time about the 211 I live with, right? The woman that has been playing around with me magically for the last couple of years has the same birthday. I know there's no coincidences. So, what a tangled web we weave. All right, let's get this next set of cards out. Now, these are the archetype cards. And let me just show you one so maybe your mind can formulate a little bit better. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a positive trait, a negative trait, a picture in the middle, and then a title card at the top. Right? Different traits of people. You got the whore or the prostitute in here. You got the companion. You got orphan, all sorts of stuff like that, just to give you an idea of what your mind could be sensing to help you lock in a little bit more. So can I get some cards for the collective here? Started off nice. Okay. Avenger. Let me show you. I think I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's flying. He has a map though. There's some ley line crap back there. But Avenger. Light attributes, a desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attributes, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Next. Not going to say superhero for that one. Just figure out what your mind was trying to tell you, what your intuition was trying to tell you. That's the main thing I want to say here. Every time I do one of these videos. What was yourself trying to tell you is on this card. Ready? Y'all like my flower? Well, it was my vine. I actually have intentions to get the rest done down my arm because it was based on growth, but it's going to be like henna. So I can be like, and be cute. This is the priest. I don't know what's on the side of him, but here, maybe y'all can figure it out. Like there's stuff on the side. It's water, but I don't know what's in the water. The guy got his back though. So light attributes facilitates spiritual commitment, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Shadow attributes violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Can I get one more from this deck? I want to encourage you all to get your own deck so you can practice these skills. I just want to teach you how to practice and how to build the skill. Because that's how I worked with this. I've only had this skill, like I said, for the last 4 years, maybe going on 5 now, not quite. But this was new. Practice makes perfect. Artists, you are learning how to trust and accurately understand your own intuition. That is what toning or tuning your clairs are. And this is what I'm going to be doing in the Intuitive Academy, along with all the other classes teaching all the cool stuff I do, like the psychic detective stuff, but just from a like me being a teacher purpose. This is like me like coaching, like itty bitty. Like I'm very serious when it comes to the teaching and the breakdown to make sure that y'all understand something. And I actually decided to extend the special for the Academy with the discount through Capricorn season, just because there was so much going on this month. I know a lot of people missed it. They actually inboxed me. So I will put the details for that back up for those who are interested in joining and learning how to do this. Like it could be a side job or just something that you use to enhance your other job. I also have a class in the Academy that's going to be coming next year that is going to teach you how to understand your entrepreneur design and your money design. So everything that I was offering as means of being of service, I'm going to teach other people how to do so that my means of service is teaching going forward. I think my heart will do a lot better then. So, artist. Light attributes. Expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Shadow attributes. Using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. All right, those were our archetypes, guys. Now we're going to get into the heaviest cards because this was supposed to be, excuse me, damn you, Red Bull, uh, leading y'all up three different tiers of psychic training. The first one, you only had to figure out one thing. The next thing, you only had to figure out one type of person. For these cards, which are quickly becoming my favorites, this is going to have a picture of a person, a type of person, the type of person they are, and then traits to go along with that. So for instance, for farmer, it says cultivation, harvest, and land. See how that's the third tier there? That's a little deeper, like you can feel more feelings with these. So for the collective, 303 on the clock. Already. Like I can hear, right? Employee, worker, service, consultation. Because you're picking up on waves off the card. So the coolest, weirdest thing happened, right? I started getting the message like 3 weeks ago that my gifts were gonna upgrade to the point where I can hear people's thoughts, but I can hear them like before they come out. The other day, 211 started singing something, but I started singing it at the exact same time, but it was a response to something he was saying, and he was like, stop fucking playing. And I was like, I told you, yeah. It's been happening more often that I say something at the exact same time as somebody else saying it to me. And it's not anything that's like predictable to say out, but it's because I'm picking up the waves in the thought as it hits. Is that my daughter home yet? No, picking up the waves as it hits, the same way I can pick up the waves off of the cards, guys. I'm telling you, learning to attune these gifts definitely has its advantages. I have not got out of the house enough to use them outside, so maybe this little family thing will help me notice some new stuff. Although I will say, Thanksgiving, I went to go visit my sister, and my sister-in-law, because my sister's into the ladies, uh, she was getting emotional and she was talking to me about like, do people really cross over and all this other stuff? And she was talking about her nephew, and I'm sitting there listening to her, right? And then she's talking to me because I ain't want to creep nobody out. My family's really weird about this stuff. The last time somebody died in my family, my cousin was like, my dad died, like he had a heart attack, and he was still so young. I was like, well, just let me know when you want to talk to him. I didn't think anything about it. I'm just like, I want to be considerate. Like if my dad passed, I want to like check in, like, you good over there, bro? Yo, everybody called me. They called my daddy and told on me. And he was like, what did you say to you? Like, why can't I be me? So when she started talking about her nephew and she's emotional and stuff, I'm sitting there because he's talking to me. As soon as like you ping somebody or you request some like mediumship info from me, that person pops up and I can hear him. So by the end of the conversation I had with her, she was like, I was like, yeah, girl, he's waiting in line right now to be reborn because he didn't even get started. Like he left way too early, but he's totally too cool. So she's like, he was 21 and my sister's about to have another baby. Waves. It's all frequencies. It works like the algorithm. I just pick up on the fact that she was thinking about that person, which caused a line between her and the spirit. And then the spirit noticed I was trying to pick up on it. So it said, pew. Other things, guys. So next card, the collective. There's one sticking. Okay. Spiritual seeker. I guess that souls in the background are clouds, but they look like fingers, right? That one doesn't exactly look like a finger, but it's been a while, so everything sort of looks like a devotee of the inner path, meditation and insight and practice. All things that you could have gathered from this card. Next. It's so funny. I was like, let me try this myself. For the card I grabbed, all I got was like table. I'm gonna let y'all see it first, or I'm gonna let you do it this way, and then you're gonna see what I picked up on. Vendor of all the things here, it's like there's a table. That's what I picked up on. We don't choose the way our senses work, but we can ping into them. So the words on here are merchant, retailer, individual entrepreneur. His face is hilarious. He's giving everybody hates Chris, right? Another one. And then we can wrap this up for today. Just needed a in-between thing. It's less pressure than the other readings. I'll be really locked in when I do the paper ones. Oh, and y'all got 3 more days. Did I say 3 more days? No, I said the 29th. Y'all got 9 more days before the last of the readings that I have on my website go away. Those aren't going to be the ones on there anymore. I'm getting rid of those for a while. I'm not going to be doing one-on-ones for a minute. I'm only going to be doing natal charts and synastry charts. I just need to reel it back in for a little bit. So get whatever you can off the website, channeling/angels.com. And then you can use the code EOY 2024, which is end of year 2024, for 20% off anything that's on there. So last but not least, I like this one. It's kind of hot. Researcher, explorer of truth, exploration, study, rigor, and experiment. Like you can see all sorts of stuff in this picture. So you could have picked up on a ton of things. You could have picked up on the blue color of the room, or even like the potions and stuff. So you'll enjoy our little powwows together. And that you're mainly able to connect them to your own experiences to understand what your intuition and source is trying to tell you on a regular basis, just to help you along this journey. Now, I had a clarifying card from yesterday. I put it in the wrong place because this, I was like, what am I feeling? But it was like duality dance, seek balance amid the chaos and find harmony within yourself. At the same time that I had decided to watch Spawn, that had this like clown thing in it. So I haven't figured out exactly what that means yet, but there's always something going on in the spiritual background, especially in a job like this where I'm helping people. So what was the point in this session? Let me just close out with that. What is the purpose in today's intuitive session? I use these for everything. That's how you get practice. Get better and better. Saving grace. Forgiving yourself and others heals the wounds and sets you free. Saving grace. The only thing that popped in my head just now is when somebody is sending that negative energy towards you, your grace nulls it. Like somebody can try to hex you or send death magic or whatever at you, just trying to ruin your life as much as they want to. But if there's nothing for them to latch onto, if there is no hate like in your heart, if there is grace and forgiveness, it dissolves. Like it can't hit you. It would need some sort of hate. This is the same thing as when I keep telling you guys about the satanic rites. Like if you have something that you don't forgive or something that is not in accordance with source or how source behaves, then the devil has the right to exploit that in you. So if you're a jealous person, that's what's going to happen. Lots of things to make you jealous because it's in your heart. So it's there for him to punch at. There is nothing there for Shorty to hit. Can't hit on nothing. It's the same thing with people. I'm not mad at Magic Girl or fail Magic Girl. It's just like whatever because it's weird. I don't even know you, man. So I wish healing to you. Maybe that's a part of it. Have a good day, guys.